Okay, so in that, so
Yeah.
can you give me an example that how can you identify that you're in a wrong industry?
In a wrong industry.
As you saw the video, that the person said
Yeah.
that one of the major reason for failure of many startup is that the founders start their startup in a wrong industry. So can you give me some examples?
Wrong industry
Wrong
means,
industry means the industry is not suitable for you. Like for
yeah,
example,
it's depend on,
e-commerce.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the thing is uh, like outdated also. There is a company we starting outdated now. Like e-commerce is in trend. Like Tata started its own e-commerce, but for them it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, but like if it's small, like if individual, someone proprietor start a e-commerce, it's very tough to compete. Or either he can start in some another way, like some kind of service that like he can provide locally, and like that kind of things, those like others are not providing. So it's depend on that things. Yeah. Like Flipkart is successful, but it's not like worldwide, I guess. Or maybe it's worldwide, but not famous worldwide that much as Amazon. Like Flipkart, like of Flipkart, there is another company in another place of world. Those are successful. Like in China, Alibaba, it's also successful. So e-commerce is also successful, but it's depend who is starting and how he is starting. It's depend. It's depend on area, economy,
So
and
why the
product.
e-commerce industry is so competitive? I sir, I guess you are from both your phone and laptop.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, in there, tell me why the e-commerce industry is so competitive.
Okay. I guess like I can't say it's how it's like how
No,
it's
whatever
it's
comes
a
to your
big
mind, you
sector.
can say now.
Okay, the customer, like how you advertise, like how you market your e-commerce first thing, because if any one person if order from you, so it's not going, like it will take time. And why people okay, if you market that I have also arithro.com e-commerce, and the second thing is okay, arithro.com is there, then the what you are selling and what price you are selling, that's also matter. So definitely you can't give that price which Amazon providing, because they have best sellers, right?
Yeah.
And they have their own delivery portals, they have their own payment gateways, like they have so many things, right? Like some people are earning from the only payment gateway, some companies only earning from the deliveries, okay. And Amazon has the all the delivery, earning from delivery, like so they can reduce their, they have their payment gateways, and they have good dealers, they have their own some products kind of, like they are manufacturers, like Flipkart manufacturing essential things, like small products, daily use products. Amazon also doing that kind of things, like trimmers and like gels, so many small things they were like manufacturing. So they are manufacturer, they are seller. So this is the big sector. So that these are like so many reasons are there. They have good technology, their servers, they have their SEO management team, like digital marketing team, so many things are there. So like they were not standing like 1 year and kind of, they stand in so many years. These are the things. Yeah.
Okay, Naman. So what do you think? Why do so many people start their business in the e-commerce sector? Naman, are you there?
Yeah. If
Naman, can you hear me? Okay, anyway, Hari sir. So why do you think that so many people want to start their business in the e-commerce sector?
So basically, Aritra, the reason behind this is the boom in IT.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Naman, I would come back to you. I would come back to you. Okay, Hari sir, please continue.
Yeah, so I'm saying the reason behind e-commerce boom is because of the boom in IT, information and technology, and various types of different ways, like the habits of shopping are being changed. Earlier, we used to shop when going from shop to shop manually, like we'll visit the market and we will buy some products. But now the new generation is too much of tech savvy, and they are too much of into internet and online shopping, so they don't really uh, find it they don't really find there is any requirement to go to market and search for a product that they want. Rather, they will just sit at home, browse through the websites, search it on Google, check for the reviews, compare the products, and order it. So basically, there is now being, apart from this, the current situation of COVID, that pandemic, that has also forced to us to stay at home. So maybe in future this will continue, like people will stay at home, and the boom will be further for e-commerce, and there will be more and more people ordering online than earlier. So for that reason, to cater such a big, huge market, there are many entrepreneurs or startup enthusiasts who get excited with this idea, and they jump into this e-commerce based startup, because the investment required is not very huge in e-commerce. It's a very small investment that you will need, and just you should have the right channels and right partners. You can also start your own e-commerce website and your business, and you can list your products online. So being this is the main reason behind the so many uh, young people or and startup enthusiasts going for e-commerce startup. So it is widely accepted these days, and there is lots of options you can do in e-commerce. There are many things that you can start. So it's a huge thing, like World Wide Web, right? You can sell your product sitting in Mumbai or sitting in India. You can even sell it outside India. You can sell it at US, you can sell it at Singapore. Anything you can do. If you have a product, if you have a market there, definitely you can sell it there also, right?
But the thing is that if everyone start doing that, then the industry would become saturated. So how can a person do something different? If everyone start doing that, if it is so easy, then everyone will start doing it, right? Then there will
Right.
be lot of competition.
No, in fact, there is lots of competition still, right? It competition earlier also there was competition, and now also the competition is there, and it will be increasing only day by day, because many people are entering, the reason behind that, and customer is becoming smart day by day. So your product is what your asset, or your product is your what we call it as a brand equity, or your product is your asset. So if your product is not satisfying the customer, then definitely you will phase out from this market sooner or later, right? So even when we think of Flipkart and other e-commerce, so the operating profits are very less as compared to, like, any manufacturing sector, right? If you take an example of a manufacturing and and an e-commerce, so the e-commerce companies are usually running in losses only. The profits are not as such visible, because there is lots of cash flow in coming, cash coming in and going out. So the profit will be very less. But the thing is, like, for example, I'll just give you an example how they survive, like e-commerce companies like Flipkart. Now Flipkart, what it does, it takes its products from vendors or its authorized resellers, and they take it on a credit, suppose, right? So they will take a mobile phone, for example, Redmi phone, Xiaomi Redmi. So there are many products which are only available on specific e-commerce site. So they will directly get it from Xiaomi, and they will be having an understanding that they will give the payment for these mobiles after 60 days or maybe after 90 days credit. And when the customer is ordering, he is paying upfront to Flipkart. So when you buy, for example, Arithro is buying a Redmi phone, and he pays 20,000 bucks to Flipkart for buying a new Redmi, and Flipkart is investing that same 20,000 to give salary to its employees, to its logistic partners, and to others, right? So this 20,000 is gone in salary. There is no profit for Flipkart as such, right? Now, suppose Inder is ordering next month again an Xiaomi Redmi phone. So Inder place an order for 15,000 rupees. In the same way, the cycle goes, right? And whenever there is a bulk payment, they will just make payment to the manufacturer. So the operating profit is very less, but the volumes, the number of cash inflow and outflow is huge for these companies, e-commerce based companies. And you can think like they have no other expenses apart from website. They don't want to rely on shops, right? The main expense for a retailer is a shop. The mall, for example, if you go to a mall, the electric bill, the rent of that shop, it is huge. So these all costs are cut in e-commerce, and the same cost they will pass on to the customers, like with deals and all, with very good deals, and the remaining profit they will pay to the manufacturer, the product price. So the profit as such, if we check, is almost there will be no profit for e-commerce. But this cycle is what that makes them so cash rich, and they manage lots of operations with this cycle only. Like they have lots of cash in hand. That is the reason behind that. I hope you get some idea, and maybe some more points can be added by others.
Raman, you want to add something?
Hello.
Yeah, you want to add something?
No, I was just listening to Hari sir.
Okay, Naman. So my question to you is that why do you think that many people start their business just by seeing their relative doing business or friends doing business, or you see a family member doing business? Why do you think many people start their business just because other people are doing business? What is the reason behind that?
See, it depends upon the person also, like what he's facing. If he's facing tough time, he's not getting a job. Obviously, he has to achieve some sort of financial stability. So he will try to have a business, and he will see like most of the people are successful in business. Some are there. So what they do is like some people they don't have any knowledge about anything, and they just start their business. But by inspired, taking inspiration from people who have achieved, Bill Gates, Microsoft, they're everywhere. These people are everywhere. They will start the business thinking that they can grow big, but in reality, business is very opposite. That is just glimmers, but the harsh reality, nobody knows what goes into making such businesses, right? And even though when your business is at a stable state, managing the business is also very crucial, right? If it grows bigger and bigger, responsibilities become more and more. So the harsh reality, nobody knows the harsh reality. They only say success and failure, but there are also others harsh reality, and there are also some basics which they don't teach you. Being
What?
punctual, being respectful, being following ethics, and all these are also basics of leadership, right? But they don't teach you in business schools. Nobody teaches you. It comes to you by time.
It comes from within.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't you think that that is one of the main reason for so many startup failing, because a person starts a business
See, the
just
thing
because
is in
seeing his
India,
friend starting a business, and
yeah.
that a
So
recipe for failure.
yeah, so you see, the thing is in India is like the level of education is not good. Okay, so many people want to get a good education, but it is very rare, and in India it is very inaccessible. Those who need it. Okay, and the second thing is in India, even though those who are getting the education, they are not up to a standard, also not also comparable to like a normal institution which is out of this country. So the education system is very bad. Our learning system is very bad. I'm not saying about the people. I'm not saying about the class 10, 12. Those that education system is good. I am all not saying about the IIT, the premier institutions, also the big colleges like DU and all. I'm not saying about those, but I'm saying those institutions which lack facilities, which lack professors, teachers, and all. Right. So India is also known as the exporter of engineers. Indian engineers are very much in demand, but how which percentage? How much percentage? It would be 1%. Like, how many engineering colleges are there in this country, right? So only the 1% of the engineers, those who graduate early, only 1% are employable, and the 99% and rest are unemployable, right? Even though they start a business, they cannot, because they don't know the basics, the knowledge of doing business. Also, if they start a business, if they know the business, they don't know the specialization area. If they start a software company, they don't know how to develop a software also. Or it would be like the software is very buggy and nobody wants it. Somebody was there, it was very bad, the experience was very bad. Some people are like, some people I have seen, they only want to have money, and just they want to sleep, eat, and repeat. Nothing else they want. They don't want to do work hard. They don't want to enhance their skills. Right? I have seen those people. They just eat, sleep, and repeat. Just give them money, hand over the money, they will be happy. They are just like that. They dream of being, I'll be a billionaire one day, but without hard work, it's nothing. Right?
So that means you're saying that we should never do business for getting rich, right? Our purpose should not be to get rich as fast as possible.
The
If you are
thing is, in business, you never get rich, right? You never get rich. In business, losses can be there, which can affect you badly, and you can become bankrupt. There's are very much laws of being wealthy. There's also a difference between rich and wealthy. Okay, so I can go in detail, but I won't because it will take much time. So I will just say that being rich and being wealthy also, you have some laws, basic laws. Okay, you have to understand that first. And when you get that gist, when you understand those laws, you can get rich. Okay, you can get wealthy. Okay, and it is not a short term goal. Many people say like, मेरे पास VC का पैसा आएगा, valuation आएंगे, बेच देंगे stake. It cannot happen like that. If you sell your full stake, there can be a situation where the whole company can destroy. Okay, and the profit, they say that I will earn profit. The profit is mostly around 20% of the revenue. It does not increase. People say like I get 50-60% profit, but it's not the case anymore. You have to manage operations, management, expenses, offices, assets, etc., etc. So finance also plays a part. Most of the people, they don't know finance, they don't know personal finance also, and they want to get rich. So the thing is to learn in a practical way, definitive way. That's the thing, right? We should do now. Learning, executing. I also, I was in the clubhouse. I met Gary Tan. He's one of the, one of the eminent personalities in Silicon Valley. He said, you either you learn or you earn. If you are not doing any of these, you are just simply wasting your life. You earn or learn.
Okay, so okay, Hari sir. So how would you choose a perfect team for your startup?
How would you choose a person?
Perfect team
Perfect team.
for your
So
startup. Yeah.
yeah, so basically, perfect team is never, you will never get a perfect team. Okay. What you can do is, like, you can just interview the candidate who is interested in your startup, working with your startup, and check whether his skills are as per your requirement, right? Whether the skills that the candidate or the person whom you are interviewing, he is having the same required desired set of skills, and whether that will be helpful for you in running your startup, right? So as such, a perfect team, I will say, is built. It is not made, rather it is built with a period of time. Like with the as time passes, we will do lots of changes, permutation and combinations of your team, and they will be cross, like they will be doing some different they will be doing different tasks, different handling different departments and different roles as such, right? So so you need to make a build a team, and it takes effort. So you never get a ready-made first class team or a successful team, so that there is no fun if that is the thing. Okay, the startup is all about risk, and you need to minimize that risk with your own skills and your own decisions, right? So I'll say a team has to be built, rather than you are never gifted with a very good team always, right?
Okay, in there, same question for you. How can you choose a good team for your startup?
Okay. So first of all, I will when I'll take an interview, I will check the skills. If he is a like suitable employee for me, then I'll check he is arguing with me or not. I have read somewhere in LinkedIn, those those employee argue with you in interview. Just think, like you can sure that he is your perfect, like he is your perfect employee. Sometimes it's happened, and the other thing is I just make a contact with him that you will be for 3 months casual. If you are suitable for us, so you can with us. If you are not, then you will get your salary and you have to leave. And we can like fire you within a week, within a month. It's like less than 3 months. So this can be a thing, right? We can work with him if he is suitable for us. It's okay. If he is not, you have to let go. Yeah. but but I also like realize those employee who argue with you, he is like they are always like perfect employee.
Those who argue with you.
Yeah. Those who argue with you,
Those who argue with
if
you, how
they
can you manage them? You cannot manage them if they constantly argue with you.
why not, we can say, okay, you did well, just do now that this work.
No,
Definitely. Like
No, I want to say there is a difference between sharing opinion and argument. If they are sharing their opinion, then it is okay. But if they are constantly arguing with you, then there is a problem. Nah. You have to take
Actually, today,
action.
actually, I today read, I guess, Hari sir status. Hari sir said that argument is like who will true. You are like who is true, and decision means like what is correct. But in interview, suppose they like he don't know what actually he is actually wrong, but he is arguing on his knowledge, right? So we can select him. And you saying that in future he can make a problem for company, right? They can like he can argue with something, right? So
Yeah.
in interview, like if we will show him the result, those people who argue, they argue on their knowledge. If we change their knowledge, so after that they will not argue. So this is the thing. When they will argue again, we will show them the actual reality. So they will not argue. It is the psychologists, those who argue, like they complete their works, and they can like better in robotics works. They can do better repeats work. Kind of that. I'm not sure, but it's worth little. Yeah.
Okay, so my last question is that, okay, Naman, this question is for you. So let's say a person is starting his business in a particular industry, let's say travel industry. But the thing is that that person has no experience in the travel industry, but he hires employees or hire managers who are experienced in travel industry, and he decided that he would just manage them because he is good in man management. He can manage people very well. So do you think that person can establish a startup? Because you
Yes,
see,
yes, definitely. Why not? Yes, he
but he
can.
has no experience in that industry now.
Yes, no problem. Have you heard? Have you ever heard of Jack Ma?
Yeah, Jack Ma.
Is Jack Ma educated in engineering field? Aritro,
Yeah.
does Jack Ma have an engineering degree, or he
No, no,
has
he doesn't
learned
have
any
an
engineering?
engineering.
He hasn't. He was just an ordinary college teacher,
Yeah,
right?
he has a college teacher.
But he had an idea of this Alibaba,
Hmm.
right? He told one of his. I saw his one of his videos. He told there, like, this world is full of smart people, and you know, managing smart people is very hard. Managing two smart people together, right? And the main aspect of his is, like, he told that what I do basically is I try to see and I try to manage that two smart people can work together. And he was very brilliant in man management, the management of people management, I would say. And because of this skill, he excelled in it. He founded Alibaba, make it a huge success, one of the most richest billionaires in China right now. He did not have any experience of the
E-commerce.
internet before, but he knew that this is my dream. This is what we can achieve. He thought of the long term, not short. And now he is getting the rewards, right? So, so it is possible. I can start in any field. I just need a person who has the knowledge, right?
You
Apple,
can manage
let's
people.
take Apple. Steve Jobs. Did Steve Jobs founded Apple computers? Like, he engineered that Apple computer?
No,
No. Who was it?
Wozniak.
Wozniak. What he did? He just thought that this is the future. He just had that long-term thinking in him. And what he did? He converted that idea into a product, right? And he was just a salesman. He just sold it. He was a brilliant manipulator, I would say, a human manipulator. He can manipulate any person very easily, right? So this is very much possible. This is the reality itself, not possible, but the reality itself, right? You don't even have to hire it. Find those person, go and network with them. If you find an idea, just tell them that I can help you sell this product, right? So this is actually what it is. You don't know, but you have the long-term thinking that yes, my gut is saying, some data is also mentioning that this industry can boom. If the data is not there, go with it. Go with your gut. You will achieve success in some way. And remember one thing, what I have also learned is a man will never be satisfied by what he has achieved. Okay. What you have achieved till now, you will want more and more. Even if you are rich, you will want more and more. And that will never stop. Right. So obviously, think about it. Think about when to stop also. This is also one thing. You grow. Obviously, that's good. But you have to stop somewhere. Right. That's why people you see, they step down as a CEO because they knew. And these people, they know when to stop. Instagram CEO, he knew when to stop, so he stepped down. Right. So this is the thing which I want to tell.
Okay, sure. So let's end the meeting today. We would meet again tomorrow.
Yeah. So you just stop the recording also once.